longer than my pinky toe. And so the second, third, and fourth toe were all gone.
And then now we have verifiable evidence of lying, not telling the truth and sticking to it, being called on your lies and your false statements, and then just digging in deeper, lying more.
All three toes grew, and by that point were longer than her pinky toe. Within an hour, nails began to grow on all the toes.
There is the start of a nail bed on the fourth toe.
A nail bed?
Yeah, the start of one.
Because her miracle is real, it's genuine. What I want to assure you of is, it's real. It's real, it's real, it's real, it's real. So, it is a legitimate miracle, and, you know, we can provide the kind of proof that would be necessary. People have asked, have you seen pictures of the toes? I have. So I've seen the picture of the toes. Unbelief. Here's the problem with unbelief. And usually unbelief is disguised as, I'm just more discerning.
And then now we have verifiable evidence of lying, not telling the truth and sticking to it, being called on your lies and your false statements, and then just digging in deeper, lying more.
The picture of the toes. Unbelief. Here's the problem with unbelief. And usually unbelief is disguised as, I'm just more discerning. I'm by all that because I'm a little more discerning. I'm a little smarter than everybody else. All those other people, Lindell's got him hoodwinked. I mean, he's smooth and they've drank the Kool-Aid, but I'm smart. James 3 says there's godly wisdom and there's demonic wisdom. And demonic wisdom can seem very smart, very discerning, very wise, but it's a demonic wisdom. That's the problem.
And then now we have verifiable evidence of lying, not telling the truth and sticking to it, being called on your lies and your false statements, and then just digging in deeper, lying more.
You've heard miracle after miracle of healing, and you're still sitting there saying, well, you know, I just don't know.
Welcome.
I got to see the toes.
It's good.
I'm going to tell you what, see the toes all you want, you're still not going to believe. Because unbelief never has enough proof.
Forgive me. I am learning new software, and you can see me now. Hello, good afternoon. Buenas tardes, mis amigos. Please support your local food bank, Drug and Alcohol Center. So let's just get into this video. I want to look at a few things in this video. In fact, this video came out, Did the Toes Regrow? Verified Proof, John Liddell. This is a video regarding Bill Johnson and his 3 false prophecy video. This is John Liddell sermon. This is a fascinating sermon that I want to look at. I want to spend some time in this sermon because he's talking about the new Apostolic Reformation, apostolic government, and I want to focus on dominion theology and the 7 mountain mandate. This is show the toes, right? Show the toes. Let me just check my chat. Everything's all right. All right. So, this is a website. I'll actually put the website in the chat, and you can always go straight to the website and check it out. So there it is there. This video is interesting because he's claiming a blind man received full sight and he drove. So we're going to look at this video as well, and then we're going to end with the Bible. So let's get into this video. Thank you for everyone who stopped in to watch, and I'm just looking at my comments. Shout out to Pink Poodle, David, God bless you. Miss Terry. All right, so Miss Terry, I'm promoting you as a moderator. You can delete messages, all right? So I promoted you. If somebody is attacking, doing horrible things in my comment section, you're welcome to delete them. Boast only the cross. All right. And that's where we're at. Freedom Deep. Howdy, eh? Let's get into this video. Good afternoon.
Vocal lately, and can I be honest, I can't believe more people aren't. I am going to share with you something today that I know a lot of people have had questions about. It's about the toes, and it's about the truth behind all this. And when I say I can't believe more people aren't, I mean, this is, it breaks my heart. Went to this church for 20 years, and to see that.
All right, so what you're seeing, this guy went to the church for 20 years. He's very concerned regarding Pastor Bill Johnson, John Liddell, and the toes.
Changed so drastically in doctrine in the last 3 or 4 years. And then now we have verifiable evidence of lying, not telling the truth and sticking to it, being...
All right, so this is the website that he's talking about. These are news articles that came out regarding the toes. Now, if you're unaware, there's been an update because this all went viral. Well, let's go to the news articles. Did you attend? News articles. This went all over, all the YouTubers, everybody did videos regarding the toes. Everyone wanted to see the toes because this lady, Christy, she actually did a podcast as well regarding her toes growing back. And John Liddell, of course, we're going to listen to the videos, give them full context. And this is it here. James River Church. Now, since they went viral just a few months ago, this guy came out 2 months ago and says he's quite concerned because they have a picture now of after the healing, and he's saying that they look identical. These photos were shared by a local business owner in proximity to James River Church. The first photo is confirmed to be on a screen capture of Christy Thompson's own Facebook page. The second photo was taken at James River Church campus, right? And the picture has been verified via the carpet matching of James River Church. Now these videos are only 2 minutes, 47 seconds, 2 minutes, and 1 minute. So let's listen to a little bit of it.
Amazing things are happening. People are being healed online. And so this involves a creative miracle. Christy Thompson was shot 3 times in 2015 by her husband and was in a coma for 2 months. Her injuries included the need to have 3 toes amputated. When Pastor Bill asked if anyone needed a creative miracle, Christy responded that she had 3 toes amputated. Kelly, who serves on the prayer team, told her that the Lord wanted to grow her toes back tonight. So Kelly had her take off her shoe, anointed where each of the toes would be, and began to pray. The skin began to change color. Pretty soon there was a pulse in the foot that she could feel. All of a sudden, Chrissy said, "Are you kidding me?"
All right, and then this is a video with Chrissy giving her testimony of her toes growing. I'm just going to speed it up a little bit because I want to get to a bunch of videos. I want to look at this video, and this video. So, and we'll listen to a little bit more of him.
So I had 3 toes that were amputated in a terrible accident. I heard the word for creative miracles and I thought, well, I certainly have a creative miracle that I might need. I need 3 toes to grow back. The person next to me said, "Do you want new toes?" And I was like, well, sure. All the women got down and they prayed over my foot, and I decided to take my shoe off to see what was happening when he said, "Let's see the progress or if anything's happened." And when I did, I had to grab the person next to me and say, "Do you see what I see?" And I saw 3 toes that were forming, and now there's length to them. Tonight, I can stand on my tippy toes. Listen, do you understand? I can stand on tippy toes.
All right, and then Bill Johnson, of course, got a copy of the testimony and read it. We'll speed that up a bit. And like I said, the link in the description if you want to go watch these videos and check out this website.
But that evening, there's multiple campuses, and one of the other campuses streaming the meeting. A woman was there who had been shot twice by her husband. Wow. Anybody else glad that Jesus heals the inside as well as the outside? Yeah. And because of it, she had to have 3 toes amputated. And I happened that evening to be talking about creative miracles that we've seen. And we just began to pray just randomly for creative miracles. And specifically things like, missing cartilage and, stuff like that the Lord would just make new. Organs of the body. I have a friend who was missing a kidney, and the Lord recreated a kidney, verified by x-rays, all this stuff. So we began to pray into that. And this gal was at one of the other campuses and said, I want my toes back. And so another guy was praying for her. And as I have the statement, it took about 30 minutes, but they saw the bone come, wrap in flesh, completely grow out, and by morning, the toenails, everything had formed. She got 3 brand new toes. 3 brand new toes.
All right, and then of course, John Liddell, it went viral, so he was responding. In the original account, the miracle John stated for Chrissy's full name, backstory, location, and then of course, when people wanted to see the toes, the miraculous healing of all of her toes growing out, he went onto social media and refused to show the picture.
On the girl Chrissy in Joplin, which has been really, really unfortunate. She's had a lot of trauma in her life, and it breaks my heart to see people do that towards her, because her miracle is real, it's genuine. People are saying, well, if it's genuine, why aren't you doing anything with it to publicize it? There's a couple of reasons I want to say to you. First of all, I'm less interested in proving to people what I know God did than I am in protecting sheep who are vulnerable. And I'm going to protect sheep first. That's my first concern, is for her. So, if that bothers you, I'm sorry, but if you're in trouble, my concern's for you too. So I think we have to have that heart. We have to discern what's going to be right, what's going to be appropriate. Debbie is down at the Joplin campus visiting with her and meeting with her and some of the others who are part of that miracle, talking with them.
All right, so they saw that they were very convinced on social media to all their followers, including Bethel Church. This is inside of Bethel. This is a supernatural. All of her toes grew out, new, and of course, it later came out that this is the picture, and this man, sorry, I accidentally clicked that's not what I was trying to look at. I'm getting better at the technology, so forgive me. But this guy, Grant, and he did this video.
Pretty vocal lately, and can I be honest, I can't believe more people aren't. I am,
So this man, the title was, Did the toes regrow? Verified proof John Liddell and Bill Johnson lied, and there still are.
Share with you something today that I know a lot of people have had questions about. It's about the toes, and it's about the truth behind all this. And when I say I can't believe more people aren't, I mean, this is, it breaks my heart. I went to this church for 20 years, and to see them change so drastically in doctrine in the last 3 or 4 years, and then now
we're going to look at the doctrine. Let me slow that down.
Verifiable.
Let me slow that down, because this man is personally involved with the church. And in fairness to him, I just want to listen to a little bit of it.
Evidence of lying, not telling the truth and sticking to it, being called on your lies and your false statements, and then just digging in deeper, lying more, creating more disunity, and dragging people's families in it. I don't know if James River leadership and John Lindell is even aware of the conflict they've caused in homes and relationships around debating on whether or not they should do something and follow their convictions based off of what they can see with their own eyes and hear with their own ears. And it's heartbreaking. And I'm appalled by leadership. I think the Assembly of God should be embarrassed. I think James River leadership should be embarrassed. And it's amazing that no one has the fortitude, the gall, the conviction, the courage to stand up in these organizations and do what should be done and do what's right. Do what the Bible actually tells us to do. And I know that there's a lot of people that have sent me their direct messages and support and how the information has helped them, but I'm going to share the before and the after photos of the supposed toes miracle.
All right, so there's it is, and that's the picture. That's the picture, the before and after, and we can see very clearly now. Interesting enough, this guy, I've subscribed to his channel. His name is Grant, and he's done 17 videos. This was 11 days ago. This is interesting. Oh, I didn't. Okay, so I must have listened to a little bit. We're looking at this video today. John Liddell talking about New Apostolic Reformation. We're going to break this video down a bit. So, I actually watched a little bit of that. So there's lots of videos here. You're welcome to go check out his channel. I will put inside the chat a link to his channel. So you can just click that link or copy and paste it or click it and you'll be able to go see it. All right? What is this all about? Oh, you can see my... What is this? Oh, sorry. Sorry. I'm learning a new software. What is this all about? YouTube. So this is a program that helps block. It's a blocker. Helps block ads. Sorry, we're having technical difficulties. I don't know how to take that off the screen. Ah, here it is here. Sorry about that. I'm learning how to do live streaming, and you know, you just gotta have a little grace with me, right? Because so far in my live streams, I have had echoes. I've done the text backwards. Usually, I've finally figured this out because I was like this. All my videos was like, sorry, I'm doing my videos and I'm reading out, and then also I did another video that I had it like this. So I'm reading around. I'm reading like this, and nobody can hear or see what I'm doing. So I'm not a very good YouTuber streamer, but I'm getting better. And forgive me. Bear with me. Let's figure this back out. Center to the screen. There we go. All right. So there's the Bible. Now, I'm not going to spend too much time on this video, but this is because we're talking about honesty. You know, the Bible says right here. This is a video I already did. In the comments, it says, the third of the 10 commandments: you shall not take the name of the Lord your God in vain. All right. So if you look that up, taking on the reputation of God, that's the name. That's what a prophet does in the Old Testament. Thus saith the Lord. So they're taking on the name of the Lord and speaking lies. That's what false prophecy is. Taking on the reputation of God and speaking blasphemous lies. The Bible says, for the Lord will not hold him guiltless who takes the reputation of God and speaks blasphemous lies. Takes his name in vain. All right? Now in this video, I'll just leave a link in the description or in the comment section. You can check it out. Bill Johnson is claiming that he has a rule of 3 false prophecies to graduate Bethel School, and this is inside of James River Church. So I figured, since we're going to be looking at New Apostolic Reformation this sermon, some people are talking about NAR, New Apostolic Reformation. I'm a student of the New Apostolic Reformation 7 Mountain Mandate Dominion Theology, so we're going to break this sermon down. So we're going to look at this video now.
So he did. He leaned over the table. He said, by this time next year, you'll have a child.
Oh, sorry. We want to go back a bit here.
And they did. Within the next year, they had a child. It was impossible.
We'll go back. This is where he talks about the minimum, three false prophets and minimum requirement.
I should probably add this. When you get it wrong, don't quit. Clean up your mess and try again. This may sound strange to you, but in our school of ministry, our students are actually required to get it wrong. If they don't fail at least 3 times in the first year, we won't let them in the second year.
All right, so before we go further, the idea is that if you go watch this video, it was actually, what I remember, it was Chris Valentin, prophecy of a child being born. And of course, they use this as a testimony, as a source material for his teaching on prophecy. And then he goes even further inside of James River Church, claiming that inside of their School of Supernatural Ministry, they have a requirement for students to give at least 3 false prophecies before they can get into the next year. In fact, I don't want to take them out of context.
He leaned over the table. He said, by this time next year, you'll have a child.
Oh, sorry. We want to go back a bit here.
And they did. Within the next year, they had a child. It was impossible.
We'll go back. This is where he talks about three false prophecy minimum requirement.
I should probably add this. When you get it wrong, don't quit. Clean up your mess and try again. This may sound strange to you, but in our school of ministry, our students are actually required to get it wrong. If they don't fail at least 3 times in the first year, we won't let them in the second year. Why? If you're not willing to take risk to the point where you get it wrong, you probably won't get it right in the way you need to. But secondly, we want you to get it wrong in a loving environment so you know how to clean up your mess.
Okay, so you can go watch that video. And I was unaware. In this video, I was actually going to contact Bethel and say there's just some guy on the internet claiming that your school, you have to have 3 false prophecies. But then it just dawned on me, it's like, obviously, he's the one that started this school, him and Chris Valentin. John Liddell. Now, this is interesting because this was uploaded, The Friendly Evangelist. And I'll leave a link in the description. So we're going to listen to a bit of this.
Hey guys. So as you know, on my channel here, I made a few videos about the mega church that I used to attend.
I don't know why my computer's slow.
Volunteer and be part of, and where I met many of my Christian friends up to this day, and it's called James River Church. It's actually been one of the biggest scandals in American churchianity for the past few months when Mark Driscoll came to speak at their event, who's also a disgraced pastor, and he said some things about and a sword swallower that was performing an event half naked at a Christian men's conference, and then that blew up internationally and put James River on the map, exposing Pastor John Lindell, who is the main pastor and who was my pastor, exposing him as associating with NAR, New Apostolic Reformation, people like Bill Johnson, Che Ann, and other people, different names that you might have heard of here and there, who believe that God has created the new apostles for today's generation, and that there's a 7 mountain mandate, and that Christians have to take over all of these different categories of the world system in order to see the return of Christ. Well, they deny that they believe those tenets, but they actually practice it in practice. And so I posted a sermon about James River deleting a sermon from their Spotify and Apple podcasts and the whole live streaming service. It was called John Lindell Calls Out Mark Driscoll, and that was the Wednesday night. They have these midweek services I used to go to called prayer services, and it was a week after the whole men's conference thing happened and blew up, and Mark Driscoll got kicked off stage. And he called out Mark Driscoll and said that there was these emails or in the text that he read that Mark Driscoll sent, calling him and his family like demonized, they're full of demons and there's problems in the family. We don't know to this day whether they were true texts from Mark Driscoll or not, because
all right, so you can watch that whole video inside my chat on YouTube. If you're on Facebook watching, God bless you, but I'm on YouTube live, and you're welcome to come here and join us. I have a chat box open. Now, before we go any further, just to give you some context, I want to be looking at this video. This video, I left a link in the description. John Liddell, can you see that on the screen where it says Apostolic Governance? There's different chapters. Apostles. I watched this whole video. I was fascinated by this video because, you know, when it comes to New Apostolic Reformation, C. Peter Wagner coined the phrase, God's government here on earth are the apostle prophets, the 7 mountain mandate, much of dominion theology. C. Peter Wagner used to call the 7 mountain mandate the dominion mandate, the 7 mountain dominion mandate. The great wealth transfer, Christians are going to get all the money. I'm fascinated by this. It's connected to postmillennialism, sort of. I have a postmillennial friend. I'm premillennial. But in this video, I watched this whole video, and for me, I was fascinated to see what he has to say, because he's connected to the most hyper extreme false prophets on the internet, like Bill Johnson. Right? Bill Johnson is an absolute false teacher. He's teaching students how to give false prophecy. And they're caught up in this humongous scandal with the toes. It's now come out. Well, I played the video. So I want to listen to a bit of this Dominion theology. And before we get to that, I'm going to show you this video. So this is another video, another healing that John Lindell was claiming. This was January, February, March, April 4th. I watched this video, and let's listen to what he had to say, all right?
We could go on Wednesday night. Man drove here from Indiana and was blind and was healed. So God is touching.
All right, a man drove from Indiana. He was blind and he was healed. All right, so listen out a few times here.
We've been seeing God do some spectacular healings of people. I've never seen anything, Debbie and I, in our ministry like it. We could go on Wednesday night. Man drove here from Indiana and was blind and was healed. So God is touching people.
All right, so full disclosure, God heals today. Praise the Lord. Absolutely heals today. We serve a true and living God that heals. Now he also gives us a grace to go through tremendous sufferings. This was essentially this is the same year, within months, or the same month of the toe story. I was listening to this, and he says that a man drove here from Indiana, and he was blind and was healed. So I looked it up. I said, it's a 7-hour drive. So how, if he was blind, how did he drive for 7 hours? It just didn't, I couldn't figure out what he was saying here.
Like it. We could go on Wednesday night. Man drove here from Indiana. Was blind and was healed. So God. Debbie and I in our ministry like it. We could go on Wednesday night. Man drove here from Indiana, was blind and was healed. So God is touching people. Debbie and I in our ministry like it. We could go on Wednesday night. Man drove here from Indiana, was blind and was healed. So God is touching people. Debbie and I in our ministry like it. We could go on Wednesday night. Man drove here from Indiana, was blind and was healed. So God is touching people. Debbie and I in our ministry like it. We could.
All right, now that was a video on YouTube. So here, the Christian Research Council. Lots of this is fascinating to me. So we're going to read, we're going to listen to the Dominionism, and then we're going to look at what he's saying. So actually, we start at the beginning, because he's using. There we go.
I feel like God's put in my heart to really.
Praise the Lord. Wow, that's awesome. Very, very good. Be healed in Jesus' name. Let me say a couple of things about that. Some people are healed instantly. Some people go home and they're healed. Some people wake up the next morning and are healed. Some people are driving down the road like that one lady with vertigo and find out, oh, wow, I was healed. So you don't know when it's going to happen. I would never say God has not healed me. I would say he has not healed me yet. And then let me say this. When you're healed, take a moment and go online, James River, jamesriver.church, info@jamesriver.church. That's it. We're going to bring it up on the screen, and you can give us your testimony. We read them all. We celebrate. We give glory to the Lord. And so be sure and do that, because what it does, it multiplies the miracle God has worked in your life. And so we thank the Lord for that. Well, I want to just quickly jump into things. I've got a lot of things to share with you. We have some worship at the end, spend some time in the presence of the Lord. But I want to talk to you about something that probably, if you're on social media at all, you hear a lot about the new Apostolic Reformation. New Apostolic Reformation, often just by the initials, the NAR. And so people are like, what does it mean? What is it about? And it's interesting. It's really depends who you talk to as to how they define it and what they see the scope of it. I think the proof of that is, if you just looked it up on Wikipedia, watch this. It says,
all right, New Apostolic Reformation on Wikipedia. And I have been studying this. Actually, I studied this quite a while ago, many years ago. And for an example, this is the article, The New Apostolic Reformation, Theological Belief of the Movement that Combines Elements of Pentecostalism, Evangelism, and Seven Mountain Mandate. All right. Now, we're going to go to the Seven Mountain Mandate. Let's go back to John. He's going to read this.
careful about what you believe on social media, even on Wikipedia, because I would find that to be grossly inaccurate personally. So the NAR has some Christian leaders that have been identified with. I'll just give you a quick list here. Lou Engle, Mike Bickle.
Absolutely. Lou Engle, Mike Bickle, for sure. Peter Wagner is the one that came up with the term New Apostolic Reformation. Cindy Jacobs, Rick Joyner, of course. Done quite a few videos regarding Rick Joyner and his hopes to restore Mike Bickle as a King David. The advocates were Absalom's, or to take over King David's throne. And if you're new to all the New Apostolic Reformation hyper-extreme false prophets, that's how they talk, that in their imaginations, Mike Bickle was the King David to change the expression of Christianity. And of course, zoop, flew up in a chariot, zoop. Mike Bickle couldn't get his own stories right. So he had quite a few visits from the supernatural, and all of his prophecies have all crashed in shambles because he's a false prophet. He used prophecy weapons against young women. And then, of course, the global church preaching on the black horse of accusation. Cindy Jacobs is a notorious false prophet as well. Dutch Sheets. Lance Wallnau is the Seven Mountain Mandate, and Sheon was responsible for commissioning a man named Todd Bentley. All right. As well as the CPAGR, there's a school that they have. They're commissioning apostle prophets right now. And I'll go a little bit. Let's see what he says after that.
Who had the International House of Prayer in Kansas City, and prior to that, Kansas City Fellowship, Metro Vineyard Fellowship, Cindy Jacobs, Rick Joyner, Dutch Sheets, Lance Wallnau, and Che On. I don't need to comment on all of them, but Lou Engle's big on prayer, does a lot of prayer things. He spoke at the World Prayer Center this last month here at the Assemblies of God headquarters. He's preparing to do a 1,000,000-woman march on the Mall in Washington, D.C. to pray for the nation to turn back to God. Peter Wagner has gone to be with the Lord. Cindy Jacobs is known for her being a prophetess. Dutch Sheets, Christ. Anybody?
Sorry, my computer seems to be acting up. So did you notice that he's calling Cindy Jacobs a prophetess? And that's where it is that C. Peter Wagner, Cindy Jacobs, and Mike Bickle. I just want to move this forward a little bit. I left a link in the description if you want to watch this whole video. I was fascinated because he's partnered with the most hyper extreme false teachers on the internet. And I thought, and many of the false prophets. He's in the news, false signs and wonders. So his perspective on what the New Apostolic Reformation is was, I found it interesting. Let's go over to the Dominion Theology.
Dominion and theocracy. And there may be an example, you may find one tomorrow. And you know what I'll say? Good on you. Dominionism and theocracy. What are we talking about there? The New Apostolic teaching is that mankind lost its dominion over earth as part of the fall of Adam.
Yes, that's exactly, all right.
Is that true? Yes. It's not a trick question. I'm not going to give you any trick questions tonight. Is that true? Yes. When God set man in the garden, Adam and Eve, he gave them this charter: rule and reign. Multiply and subdue the earth. I'm giving you the earth. And guess what? I'm starting you out in Eden. What is Eden? The ancients would have understood the imagery, the rivers, the water, the vegetation. God comes down, he's visiting with them in the cool of the day. That's heaven on earth. Eden was literally heaven on earth. The earth was not Eden. There was a piece of the earth that was Eden. Because remember when he kicks them out of Eden, when he says, you're out, it's not Eden. So they're in Eden, it's a wonderful place, and God's charter is, listen, you walk with me, and I'm gonna teach you to use the dominion I've given you so that you can spread and make the whole world an Edenic garden that honors the Lord, and mankind lives in it in perfect fellowship with God. That's God's plan. When Adam and Eve sinned, guess what happened? The plan, and who gets dominion over the earth at that point? Satan. Remember, how you say, well, how do you know that? Remember when Jesus is tempted, the 3 temptations? Satan, one of the temptations is, I'll give you all the kingdoms of the earth. And Jesus didn't say, you can't do that, they're mine already. No. He acknowledged, yep, you do have the dominion, and I'm gonna get it back from you. I'm gonna take it back. And how did he do that? When he died on the cross, he took back the keys of death, hell, and the grave, and the ownership of the earth. And what did he say to man? Matthew 28, for he leaves for heaven. All authority in heaven and on earth has been given to who? Me. Therefore, go. I have all authority. Now I'm sending you in that authority to do what? To redeem people on the earth. That's the plan. Jesus says, and this gospel shall be preached to all the earth. Matthew 14:14. And then what? And then the end shall come.
He's actually referring to Matthew 24:14. So what that says in Matthew 24:14, and this gospel of the kingdom shall be proclaimed as a testimony to all nations, and then the end will come. So when you see the abomination of desolation spoken by the prophet Daniel, let the reader understand. He's quoting Matthew 24. I am premillennial.
Now, the question is, how does this work? What does this look like? So the NAR is pilloried for having what they call the 7 Mountain Mandate.
All right, now we're getting into it, because this is one of the most shocking things to me, and proves that he is absolutely part of this new Apostolic Reformation. And I'm going to share a little quick testimony as well. Listen to this. My computer seems to be slowed down.
So they're saying there are 7 areas where Christians should seek to influence. Now, here's what's interesting on this. That 7 Mountain Mandate did not start with the NAR. That 7 Mountain Mandate was established by 2 people whose names you'll know if you're my age.
Restorational movement, and right from NAR adapted, C. Peter Wagner adapted Lance Wallnau. Watch the videos. He called it the 7 Mountain Dominion Mandate. Back, all right, let's keep going here.
1975, when Lauren Cunningham of YWAM, Youth with...
Let me just back that up. I'm having a few issues here, because this is an important part of this video.
I don't even know who they are. Back in 1975. Here it is. The origins of the 7 Mountain Mandate began sometime around 1975 when Lauren Cunningham of YWAM, Youth with a Mission, it's one of the greatest missions movements in the world. We have sponsored many kids who have gone to Youth with a Mission. We have staff members who were YWAM people. And Bill Bright of Campus Crusade for Christ. How many Baptists and...
So, there it is there. The New Apostolic Reformation, coined by C. Peter Wagner, adopted the 7 Mountain Mandate. The 7 Mountain Mandate, 1975, Lauren Cunningham. The point of that is that this is a direct revelation from God on how to dominionize the world. That's how it all started. The 7 spheres of influence. Now, I literally, in 2020, so that's March 13th, Donald Trump declared a national emergency during the lockdowns. During the lockdowns, I heard many people in Canada talking about they had lost the 7 Mountain Mandate. It's a fascinating study because the 7 Mountain Mandate Dominion Mandate is also accepted with premillennialists. So it's always in contradiction of what they're saying. They're saying we're going to take over the 7 spheres to influence the world and accept it as a prophecy. And some of them are dominionists, but there's also premillennialists that recognize that Jesus brings his kingdom with him. So it's in direct contradiction from the origins of the 7 Mountain Mandate. And they're saying here in Canada that they have lost the 7 mountain mandate now. It's over. All 7 spheres, they're getting more courageous now that the lockdowns are over and they're back to their dominionist teachings. But depending on what's happening in the world, they just change the theology.
Bill Bright, both of those guys are with the Lord today. Both claim to have received separately a revelation from God. These are, Lauren was Pentecostal. Bill Bright said at the end of his life he was filled with the Spirit. But they got a revelation from God. It dealt with how to turn the nations of the world to God.
Okay, so if they did, just use common sense, all right? So if Bill Bright and Lauren Cunningham had the direct revelation of the 7 mountains to turn all the nations to God, has it been successful? Well, if you're a dominionist, post-millennial, you believe that, I've heard them say, post-millennial, that Jesus is not coming back for another 70,000 years. Not 70 days, 70,000 years. Right? So was it success? Is this a true prophecy? If it was a true prophecy, it can't fail. It's impossible to fail. When God speaks, it's 100% accurate. In the Bible, we see that very clearly.
Received separately a revelation from God. These are, Lauren was Pentecostal. Bill Bright said that they got a revelation from God. It dealt with how to turn the nations of the world to God. Both said that God had given them a list of 7 areas that need to be dominated by the Christian worldview. They are basically as follows: the home, the church, schools, government, and politics, the media, arts, entertainment, and sports, commerce, science, and technology. So the NAR list, the 7 mountains, is this: government, arts, finance.
And that's where it's at, is that's the 7 mountain mandate. If it was from God, it would be, well, if it was from God, we'd have it in the Bible. Right?
Education, religion, family, and media. Now let me just ask you a question. How awesome would it be if Christians influenced government? All
right, let's just move this on. Postmillennialism, he talks about.
The NAR teaches that the end-time church will become a victorious, militant army so it can take dominion of the earth.
Well, like I said, the point of this video is that not everybody in the NAR believe the same thing. It's the same as not every cessationist, not every charismatic. The New Apostolic Reformation, the only contingent that matters is that you accept each other as apostle prophets. If you're premillennial, postmillennial, preterism, the only thing that really matters inside is the restoration of the apostle prophet to control the church. That's the only thing they care about. If you teach horoscopes, if you teach... There's horoscope readers here in Canada. If you're new to my channel, you have to go to my website. So the Capricorn, half fish, half goat represents Isaiah 53. So horoscope reading, odometer readers, license plate readers, essentially omen interpretation, all of that doesn't matter. The only thing that matters in the New Apostolic Reformation is recognizing the apostle prophet. Grave sucking is another one. False teaching is another one. False prophecy is another one. None of that matters in the New Apostolic Reformation. The New Apostolic Reformation is a connection of grave suckers, omen interpretation, of false prophets. That's my interpretation of the New Apostolic Reformation, and my experience in studying this movement is that not all of them agree with each other. They're constantly contradicting themselves, constantly, because they all believe different stuff. But the only thing that joins them together is recognizing each other as the apostle prophets.
Now, what's the issue here? So what they're saying is, the NAR is saying, what's going to happen is Christians we're going to seek to influence those areas. And then gradually what's going to happen, we're going to reach more and more people for Christ until eventually everybody's Christian, and then Jesus is going to come back. You say, well, that's wacky. No, that's postmillennialism. It's a theological view that's been around. John Owen, a Puritan in the 1500s, was a proponent of postmillennialism. Jonathan Edwards, Sinners in the Hands of an Angry God, the leader of the First Great Awakening, believed in postmillennialism. Charles Hodges, who is big in Baptist circles and Baptist thinking, one of the great theologians of the Baptist movement, believed in postmillennialism. If you are or from a Presbyterian background, Presbyterians believe in postmillennialism. I mean, what I'm trying to help you see is this is not an aberrant view. It's...
Well, consistently in church history, we have premillennialism. And the early church fathers, even in the Bible, remember, we derive all of our theology from the Bible. I left a link in the description. Let me show you what I'm talking about, right? right in the Bible, right? We have the book of Acts. The disciples came to Jesus and said to him, right? And they were staying, they ordered they did not depart from Jerusalem, but wait for the promise of the Father, which he said, you heard from me. For John baptized with water, but you will be baptized with the Holy Spirit many days from now. So when they had come together, they asked him, Lord, will you at this time restore the kingdom of Israel? He said to them, it's not for you to know the times or the seasons the Father has fixed at his own authority, but you shall receive power when the Holy Spirit has come upon you, and you will be my witnesses in Jerusalem and to Judea and Samaria and to the ends of the earth. And when they had said these things, as they were looking on, he was lifted up, and a cloud took him out of their sight. And while they were gazing into heaven as he went, behold, two men stood by them with white robes, and said, Men of Galilee, why do you stand looking into heaven? This is Jesus, who was taken up from heaven, will come in the same way that you saw him go into heaven. The same way we saw Jesus go, he is coming back. He is coming back, all right, for the remnant, the church, the overcomers, those who are eagerly awaiting him. It's the hope and joy of all Christians that we serve a true and living God that loves us, and his word declares that he will return one day. And let me go to my comment section. Thank you for watching. It's an interesting video. I'm learning new software. Did I have that wrong my whole time? Oh boy. So I'm learning new software, and let's go to the chat, see if anybody is watching. Let me see here. Well, my computer seems to be very slow. I'll have to watch the stream again because my computer is definitely slow. And oh, I got lots of people watching. Thank you for joining me. If you have a question, or if you'd like me to talk about something, let me know in the chats and I'll answer you. But my computer is running a little slow. Let me see here. Shout out to my friend. Oh, I should probably do that as well. So before we go to the chat, if you have a question, let me know. I don't go into my comments section asking for donations. There are impersonators on the internet. And one second here. So if you never go into the comment section, and if you see somebody asking for money, just let me know. Email me or comment below, Brother John, someone's impersonating you. Thank you to my friends that are supporting my ministry outreach. Here's my donation tab. I 100% am supported by my friends around the world, and most of my support comes from the United States. I have a newsletter that I send out as well, and I work 6 days on the street. I was on the street today, and on my free time I do social media videos. So thank you to my friends who are supporting my ministry, and I'm just going to end this with some of the comments, if there's any comments or any questions in the comments. And my intention is to do more live streams. I enjoy the interaction, and I like to say hi to my friends that are watching me. Many people have watched me for years. And let's see here. I don't know why my computer seems so slow. Here we go. So shout out to, okay, so Karen, shout out, Pink Poodle. Karen and, well, let me see. Let me put this on the screen. One sec. Add source. 1 second. I'm getting better at this. There we go. 1 second, please. All right. Thank you. So we got a few comments here. Karen, so Pink Poodle. I have 1 second here. Sorry about this. I'm learning. So Pink Poodle, you watch my videos quite often. And when I'm doing a video, my next video, you can see here, there's this little dot here. Can you see that little dot, Pink Poodle? You click that, and I've added you as a moderator. Where is it? Find user. Okay, so you're a moderator. So you have that little gear beside your thing. Same with you, Miss Terry. So if you want to put a timeout or delete a comment, you just go over to the side and you just click the three dots, and then you can put somebody in a timeout. If they're attacking my viewers live, or if they're being very derogatory, or if they're saying bad things in the chat, you can go ahead and do that. So there's Karen. I've done that for you, and I've done it for Pink Poodle and Miss Terry. Christine, these people are speaking lies. I agree, Christine. Hello, Christine. There's many false teachers on the internet right now, for sure. David. David, how you doing? God bless you, David. From Britain. I have a friend in the UK named Eva, one of my longest viewers, 5 years. Really nice lady. She lives in the UK. Tammy says, I was at a church in Bethel School of Supernatural Ministry, another campus the first year in the area. False prophecies skyrocketed and weird prophecies became the norm. This is bananas. Nameless wreck. Never quit praying. Very clever, Brother John. Love the video. Thank you, Miss Terry. Plaster this all over the internet. Great job. Thank you, Jacob. God is exposing so much. I agree, Jacob. It is time for judgment to begin with the house of God. For the righteous are scarcely saved. What will become of the ungodly and the sinner? God is exposing the horoscope readers, the grave suckers, the necromancers. People going on to social media claiming that they have a supernatural school ministry, that you have to give false prophecies to get your second year. And all the false prophecy, all the false teachings, you know. But I can also see that God is working with the bride of Christ. He's exposing the people like Mike Bickle, Todd Bentley, and many others publicly. And, you know, God's using men and women in miraculous ways right now in the church. The church is growing in strength, and, you know, the great apostasy, the great falling away, what has been spoken about in the Bible, we're seeing with our eyes. You need a guard dog. Hi, brother. Hi, Laura. God bless you, Laura. Moderator. The Canadian. That's Canadian for moderator. Moderator. That's right, eh? It's a beauty here in Canada. I have dyslexia, and so did I say moderator? I meant moderator, eh? That's it. Thanks for everyone who stopped in to watch. Have a great day, and I'll be doing more videos. I like doing the video. Look at, I screwed up again. I'm the worst live streamer in the world. I'm getting better, but do you see how the screen is in front of my thing? I don't know how to fix that. 1 second here. There we go. That's it. Thanks for watching. And it's a beauty here in Canada. And that's it. You know, I got to cook my dinner, and you know, it's hard. Yesterday I saw there was a big fight yesterday. I got involved. I was actually I was praying on somebody. His legs were all bandaged up. He's got xylazine, which is toxic drug. All just totally infected. So I was with the doctor, and I have my phone. So I had his daughter, young girl in her 20s, and I'm friends with her dad. Her dad's in active addiction. So I'm talking to her daughter, and she phones me. So I go out and find him. So he using my phone. Afterwards, we went over. We're right in ground zero. Everybody's using drugs. I'm praying for him. I actually have my hand on his shoulder and I'm praying. And all of a sudden, I hear some commotion out of the corner of my eye. This guy just, bang. Another guy, boom, boom. So they're fighting, scrapping within 4 feet of me. So I jumped into action. And I ran over and the security guy came run over. We were to calm the situation down. And the security guy got involved as well. So, quite often you have these feuds. It was over a lighter. Anyways, the security guy got involved and I went over to my friend and started praying for him again. And, he's actually looking all right. I've been ministering to this particular man for about 2 years, maybe 2.5 years. And I send his daughter videos because his daughter loves him very much, but he's in active addiction. And I hope he makes it. He's housed now. And I'm trying to get him into treatment if he'll go. But that's it. God bless you. Thank you, Pink Poodle. Thank you, Namus. Hi, Laura. God bless you, Laura. My friend Laura. And that's it. So, may the Lord bless you. Keep you strong in the faith. And remember, Brother John loves you.
And then now we have verifiable evidence of lying, not telling the truth and sticking to it, being called on your lies and your false statements, and then just digging in deeper, lying more.
You've heard miracle after miracle of healing, and you're still sitting there saying, well, I just don't know. I got to see the toes. I'm going to tell you what, see the toes all you want, you're still not going to believe. Because unbelief never has enough proof.
As the ladies prayed for Chrissy over the next 30 minutes, all 3 toes grew, and by that point were longer than her pinky toe. Within an hour, nails began to grow on all the toes.
The statement took about 30 minutes, but they saw the bone come, wrap in flesh, completely grow out, and by morning, the toenails, everything had formed. She got 3 brand new toes.
And I saw 3 toes that were forming, and now there's length to them tonight.
The toe next to my pinky toe is longer now than it was than my pinky toe. It is longer. The toe next, the 3rd toe, is even with the 4th toe, which is longer than my pinky toe. And so the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th toe were all gone.
And then now we have verifiable evidence of lying, not telling the truth and sticking to it, being called on your lies and your false statements.